All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know we have some audio problems going on with the YouTube. We're trying to fix that. So we're going to jump off this stream. The audio version will still be going on. We'll get this ready for you in a minute. So let me, we're good. If it's working out. Oh, looks like it's working. Looks like it's working now.
Hello?
Nice.
Oh, I guess I guess it's working. I don't know what happened. I didn't touch anything, but we are live. So
it's been working.
No. Your audio's been working.
Can you hear me?
This has been fine.
Mike, can you hear me?
Is it? It might be
You can't
because
hear
I was not on there. It might have been something
No,
like
they
that.
can't hear us.
Who can't hear you?
You can? Oh, I got it. Now we're good, man.
It's working.
It's working. I'm not sure what's going on, fellas. But yeah, right now we are at Fuego Logan Square. They have a happy hour right now, $8 happy hour. They got flautas, nachos, guacamole. They got wings. They got palomas. They got pepino loco, margaritas, and Jack and Coke. So slide over through, check out this cool interview that's going on. Definitely. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can order some of that
You
stuff.
made me hungry, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the wings, everything's really good, man. We were here the other day. It's been phenomenal.
Nice.
So right now, we got that slush right here. We got everything going on. So what I'm gonna see if I jump off, maybe the audio won't mess up. Let's see what happens here if I jump off. Let me see. Well, it's not me. It's just for some reason I have to stay on the show.
Then stay on the show, bro.
Stay on the show?
Stay on the fucking show, bro.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, well.
Just stay on the show.
Yeah, so let's.
Just stay on the show. Perfect. There he is.
That's all right. I can just make myself a little smaller, so whenever you need me, I'll just jump on.
Okay,
chime in.
that's great. So, by the way,
Put him in the corner.
Put baby in the corner. Come on, man.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Right.
To be fair, it is his first live stream. Is it? No, it's not.
No, it's not our first live show.
It's first remote. No, it's not.
No.
Come on, Z.
I don't know what's going on. There you go.
Lie, bro. Fucking lie.
Yeah, well, it's technical difficulties. If anybody works with technology, you know that everything will go wrong if possible. You guys do live DJing. You know that stuff just does not work. You have to reset stuff.
If something don't go wrong, it's not gonna be a good gig.
What's the worst experience you had as far as going live? And they just like,
like a live
big. No, just DJing.
Just
live.
DJing.
Yeah. How did you do with it?
Yeah, I can't really think of anything.
He's never happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I do so much prep work. It's like
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some reason because I'm the host, I have to stay on. I guess that's just what the streaming platform does.
Yeah, stay on then.
I'm definitely staying on. So yeah. But it's great to finally be able to hear everybody. I know everybody was staying on with us, so I really appreciate everybody who's been on the show.
We do have the audio though. So
the audio will be out there. So when we post the actual video of everything, it'll be on there. But as it's being live,
you could always like re-edit it and re-upload it. Right?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Yeah. So it'll be
exactly what he's gonna do.
You got a lot of work ahead of you, buddy.
Not I, sir. Not I.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a vibe.
Man, the ice has been broken. Yeah, this slushie's melting. Anyway, so
did you guys want to start drinking those or what?
no.
How much alcohol is in there?
There's nothing. It's juice.
Ah.
It's just juice. But okay.
Yeah, what's
What
next?
we're saying? Well,
You tell me.
I don't even know.
Well, you were talking about the worst technical difficulties that's ever happened.
You never had a problem.
I
where, like,
mean-
you were DJing, and I mean, every DJ had a problem like that. No.
I've had a few times where like the sound will go off, and then last week at the Cicero Fest I had a little bit of technical difficulties. I had
You guys were roasting me.
it was like
That's a whole fest.
you know what it was? The CDJs weren't linking up.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what it was, and I had to move to a controller that was right next to the setup.
Dang, they put you on a controller, bro.
But I moved back on once I got it working, so it was like maybe like
Like
five.
some James Hype stuff.
Yeah, some 5 minutes of like going back and forth on the setups.
Yeah.
Finally got it to work. And
What's your opinion on James Hype?
I don't know. I've never really heard a whole set.
What?
Like I've only seen clips.
Him and Deadmau5 are going at it right now.
Yeah, that's funny. I think Deadmau5 is way too smarter for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows way too much like about just everything.
Yeah.
And like James Hype, I feel like
Should DJs start doing that? Have you seen how he DJs?
Yeah, I feel
he
like
gets on top of things. He's pressing buttons.
Yeah, I mean, A-Tracker was doing that a long time ago, so it's not new, you know. But
Right.
to me, it's like, oh, there's a little bit too much going on when you're doing shit like that.
Right.
What if you fall and you fucking embarrass yourself in front of 10,000 people? Like an idiot?
He's doing it for the show. Do you know who James Hype is?
No.
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 Yeah. But yeah,
Well, like to me, like James Hype is just like an average Chicago house DJ. Like,
nah,
his
bro, he's too much.
No, his
He's
skills
got
are.
like a bandana on. He's doing like fucking jumping.
Oh
jacks
yeah,
and
but like
shit
as far
and-
as like skill wise, he's not doing nothing special that I never
Right.
seen before. Like it's all like the same shit.
I want to talk about that because pre-programmed sets.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on a pre-programmed set? Not saying pre-mixed, pre-programmed. As in
like you already know what you're gonna play.
yeah, like you got your Serato crate. Okay, these are the 19 songs or 18 songs I'm gonna play. What is your opinion on that?
It's good. Like if you know, like if you know the crowd and you know that's gonna work, then it's a good thing because you know you're prepared and you. But like, what if you want to freestyle and like you want to add something else to it? So you should always keep it open and not try to like stick to a whole set like one by one, everything after another. Because what if like one song doesn't vibe out? You know, like people don't like it. You gotta switch it up right away. You know, so.
Well, in house and techno, how do you navigate that? Because it's just like it's very interesting. With house and techno, you can't really drop a Drake track or
Right.
drop like a Pitbull or something. Or
I mean, there's remixes you could, but like yeah.
you hit them with the remix.
Yeah, it depends. Like it depends if your crowd's open minded. You know, if they're there for just like the hits. You know, like you're gonna like it's different that way. But you got an open minded crowd where
So you're not against it.
No, I'm not against it. But like if you it's preparation. That's what it is. You know, like if you're not prepared, and then like what are you even doing up there? You know,
Right.
if you're just gonna freestyle it, then you gotta really know what you're doing. Like and be doing it for a long time.
Right.
Because I could go do a gig and not prepare and be fine, But if I do prepare and download new music and like get all my tracks set, my cue points ready, like it's gonna help because like in the long run I might forget about all that shit that I just downloaded,
Right.
But if I got it prepared and like I analyze and it's ready to go and
What about already mixed?
already mixed?
Yeah, it's like already mixed. Like like it's because there's DJs now that they have video from the angles where they can show that they're not even mixing. It's just playing
Yeah.
through the audio.
Yeah, it depends because sometimes you could do that for like an intro. I don't think they're doing that for the whole set, unless like they got like I know like Dead Mouse had said that if their visuals are linking up with the music, like then it's pre-planned or whatever, or pre-recorded. But even that's like not that true because you do video mixing, you're not recording. Everything's not recorded already, So like you could do visuals and like not have to like have everything.
So there's no such thing as already everything pre-mixed and like press play.
Probably not. It depends. It depends like how big the festival is. Sometimes they require that. I've heard like so. Yeah, it all depends. But like if you're just doing like a regular gig and you got your whole set already planned, like recorded, like you're just basically like wasting the bar's money at that point.
Right.
Like we just hire someone that actually knows how to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about like what so we use DAWs
Yeah.
to create music. Some people use like, different ways of making mixes. How do you do your sets as far as like for radio, for example? Like what do you use? Nonstop uses Ableton.
Yeah, Ableton.
Yeah.
I have an older version of Ableton that I use, and then I also like record them live sometimes, just straight from Serato. Like hit record and just go, 26 minutes straight, and then I'll do some post production editing and like.
And how and what?
In Ableton.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's other ones like what is it? Sony Acid Pro and like Pro Tools and all that stuff. What was the other one from Mac? It's I can't remember the name, but Ableton.
Logic.
Yeah, Logic. There you go. So you could do all those, different DAWs, whatever. But like Ableton, I feel like I feel more comfortable working with that and like edits and make my own tracks in Ableton as well.
And talk about that. How'd you get into production? Like, and then how do you get into it just in general?
Well,
'Cause
growing up,
everybody wants to make music, but nobody actually wants to make music. If that makes sense, as in like they want to make music, but they don't want to go through the footwork, the actual like I have to download the app, I got to learn how to use it. Like it takes a long time. Like everybody wants to cook, but nobody wants to learn how to cook.
I think a good way to get started is just making edits of other songs and adding drums to that, and splicing up the vocals and messing around with stuff. And now you could do stems, which is like awesome. So I've been like messing with that a lot too, and like just trying to do different things. And then also with the mixes, I approach my mixes like I'm making a track too sometimes. So
How do you make a track?
basically,
What's your formula?
yeah, you start off with drums and start off with a bass line and like.
Oh, so you go right for the drum?
Yeah, I start with drums, always with drums, unless I found like a cool like vocal sample I want to use or I want to chop up. I'll start with that and then add the drums. But it all depends. It all depends what type of idea you sometimes you're like, oh, I want to do this and start off this way, or start off with just vocal. You can come across a sample pack. You're like, oh, I want to mess with this. So I have like all these like folders of samples and stuff. So
You use Splice?
I don't know. I've heard of it.
Have you heard of Splice?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Like I use some like stuff similar, like sample packs where I've downloaded, but over the
Big
years,
Fish Audio? Have you heard
No.
of Big Fish?
Oh yeah, Big Fish. I have a couple of those sample packs too. It's just like free stuff that I got. I never really like paid for anything.
Damn, bro, they're just giving you stuff.
Yeah. No, you can find stuff for free everywhere.
This
so.
man sees on radio. You just get everything free now,
Nah,
bro.
I wish.
This guy's famous. The
Yeah.
fuck?
I wish.
So when it comes to the production part, right?
Mhm.
So samples, you said you get them for free, but where do you get like extra kicks, claps, melodies? Like what do you
same
use
thing.
for?
Like same thing. You just collect sample packs, and like you can even rip stuff from other songs. Sometimes there's like a clean kick drum or
How do you
something.
do that? How do you rip it?
You just grab the audio and I throw it into like another DAW or just just separate it. I use what's that, Audacity or whatever.
Yeah.
I use that for like simple things like to edit, or to like take a certain part of a song, and then I save it as a AIF file or a WAV file, and then I bring it into Ableton after that, and then that's pretty much it, and just just kind of mess with that.
What about mixing and EQing? Because see, as a DJ, we play a song that's made plus a song that's made, and there's a whole bunch of EQs and stuff in the middle. But when it comes to production, as for you and I, that's a whole other fucking universe.
I'm still trying to learn about mixing and mastering and all that stuff. So like usually like you just try to do your best before you're gonna release a track or put it out to the public. Get it to where you want it to sound as perfectly, and then I usually like send it to somewhere else to get mastered, or or I add like some plugins myself just for like just to play it at a certain just to play it out. But if you're gonna release something, definitely get it mastered professionally.
Do you have plugins? Do you like buy plugins?
I bought a few over the years. Mostly just like synths and stuff like that. And
Which one are you using?
It depends. If I have a certain project I'm working on, like I'll go and like look for a certain I was doing like a project where it's like a kind of like a the old tapes you would buy of like got sound effects, like scary sound effects. I made something like that for a clothing label and Terra Threads, and like so I wanted to produce everything like basically from scratch. I was using samples, but like I would like stretch them out, make them sound really weird, and like reverse them and like lower the pitch, so nothing was recognizable really, so. But then I would like grab my own sounds and like from different plugins. Like there was some, they were more like towards they were more leaning towards those sounds, so more darker synths and bass lines and weird sound effects and like rain and thunder and shit like that.
It's interesting for being a house techno. Yeah,
it's something something different. So I'm like, I totally was like down because I'm a big horror movie person too. So I got into that.
That's good. That's now you're composing stuff.
Yeah, it was all like original stuff, and like I like some of them I would approach them in a way like I would if I were to make a dance music track too, but just no drums. It's just all just like atmosphere and like sounds and stuff like that.
Right. So is it important? Is it vital? As in, like, you're not gonna make it in this industry anymore unless you produce? Because I've heard that debate.
Man, pretty much everyone now is like you get recognized from your
Everybody
production.
now is a mashup DJ. Like, oh, look at my remix, and it's just a regular Serato stem over another beat, another.
I feel like those people are
they're
late,
not really producing.
They're late
bro.
to the party though, man. Like it's nothing new. So
Right.
like like mashups. We're doing mashups in 2005.
Right.
Like so it's nothing new. Like it's new to them.
Tell them.
There's a whole new crowd out there that's like every generation is gonna be like they're gonna get introduced to it different ways. So like they may think it's cool, but like to people like us are like, oh, it ain't shit. Like we've seen this lots of times. And man, remember Girl Talk? That dude that was doing those mashups, like he would have big ass parties. And it was just all mashups the whole night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, that was like early 2000s, so it's like, it ain't nothing new, man.
So is producing mashups, are they the same thing? Making mashups and then production?
No, making mashup is just like putting two songs together and like, grabbing a vocal and grabbing a instrumental and doing that. And then like kind of just messing with it. And then making a track is like, everything's making from scratch. So you're, doing your own drums and everything else. So
Or sampling.
yeah,
It's fine.
you could sample too, but like I think it too like it's always good to find samples that's never been used before.
You just released a track, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
What was it called?
Gotta Grind. Yeah, that was on Ghetto Mark's label. And he approached me, like I sent him like a bunch of tracks, and he was like he liked that one the most, so we released that one first, and we got a couple other tracks we're gonna do, but yeah, that one, like I don't know, it was something about that when the drums came in, like it hits really hard, and like him and Mozzie, remember Mozzie?
Mm.
Well, he's the one that like mastered it for us, so like
Okay.
yeah, he made that shit sound really like strong. So I was like, man. Yeah, because I had made that track years ago, and like it was totally different. It wasn't a hard house track. It was like more like a trap beat.
Yeah.
And then I switched it up. I made a hard house version, and then it just sat on it for years. And I showed it to him, and he's like, "Yeah, this is dope. Let's release that one." So yeah, this is how it works. Just send your music to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So realistically, how many tracks do you have sitting, and then how many actually have gone out there? Because
Oh,
a lot of producers, they start doing things and they never release it, and then one of them ends up going big, right?
Yeah.
So realistically, if a new producer, give them like a realistic point of view, like you got to make these amount of tracks in order for you to get at least one. What would you say that answer is? Like X is equal to that.
I think just keep doing it and keep releasing stuff.
How many do you think?
Oh man, at least 20. Maybe around that mark, but. Yeah, it all depends. Your first track could go viral, and who knows? Like it could blow up on TikTok or something. And yeah, I see that happen all the time. So it all depends. Like there's a whole new like generation of people out there. So
And how important is that? TikTok
it's
and like
I
the
think
whole
it's
social media.
Yeah, social media is really important. Like especially for DJs, because you want to get your name out there, and you want people to to see who you are, and and eventually like someone's gonna see that and book you or reach out to you for something, to make a track or to collab or something. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Just because you being old school and being able to go through the different decades and different periods of music, and now you have this influx of technology and you have the influx of social media. Can you talk about the difference in having, a flyer for a party or a flyer for a club that you'll be DJing on Friday or Saturday versus using social media?
Like an actual printed flyer?
Right. Back in the day, you had to make flyers and pass them out hand to hand, right?
Yeah, for sure. That was like really vital. Like I remember like, being outside of a bar like at 2 a.m, freezing your ass off, promoting a party, So like, yeah, I've done like that. And, now it's like all social media, but like.
Now he's DJ Rampage, bro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it takes a while to get a name, is what I'm
His
saying.
name on a radio.
Yeah, but I think even now you should still print flyers for your parties and print out posters and stuff like
And
that.
then the state gives you a ticket. They do that.
What?
Yeah, like if they find your stuff on the floor, they contact and they give you a ticket.
Oh, because you leave your contact information on there.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
you
stuff.
gotta go to the party.
Right. Yeah, obviously.
Like I don't want my club on there. That's what happened to a lot of us.
No way.
Yeah.
So is it more difficult now or back then to get people to come to you, get a crowd going to wherever you're DJing?
Well, back then it was a little bit easier because it wasn't so saturated. It wasn't like a million DJs out there. And
Yeah.
like,
I mean, there was. I think
but
that's my point.
not everyone
There
was getting booked.
But
though.
there was a gatekeeper at the club or the
Yeah.
venue that you're like, oh, I'm only having these DJs,
Big time,
and then
yeah.
you had those guys would rotate around. So
Yeah.
that was kind of more of a, like I said, a gateway. But now like anybody can DJ on any platform, whatever. That's why I see, like you're saying, it's saturated. So it's kind of hard to keep your name out there. So how do you do that now?
Just gotta be different, stand out as much as you can, and like be I guess having a lot of skill too works, because there's a lot of DJs that will play at the same bars, and the owner would notice like, oh man, this guy's not that good, let me hit up this guy instead.
Or he's playing the same mix from last week.
Exactly, yeah.
Or he's playing a DJ Rampage mix. Only he ate out the drops.
I've heard DJs play other stuff. Like the drop would be like, "Oh, DJ something else." Like that's not you, brother.
Yeah, I've gotten like texts and phone calls from people at like weddings or like cotillions who are like, hey, they're playing your mix here. Like I've gotten that happen before, so like it happens, but yeah.
Does that upset you that someone's
Nah, it just made me laugh, really.
Yeah?
Yeah. because you hear my drop in the background. So
Yeah.
I was like, how do you hide that? You know, so,
Do your drop. How does it go?
I don't know. I've had so many over the years. The one I use a lot now is EPMD from the song Rampage.
Okay.
It's like Rampage, so I just use that
Nice.
little clip. Yeah, at the end of the song, it's like clean, so I grabbed it and I mess with it sometimes. So.
So for anyone in that space though, like your question, we still have that ability of hand-to-hand flyers with social media, because if you scroll, it's in your hand, and when you scroll you have the flyer in your fucking hand. So a good promoter should put money behind their post, and it's in their hands instantly. So just got to target the area. So let's say Emporium is doing a party, make sure it's hitting Chicago only. And if you could literally niche it down to that zip code, it's in their hands immediately. So we still have the ability to do that.
Okay.
Just a lot of people aren't putting money behind it, which makes no sense, right? Because they would put like however much money for 5,000 flyers,
Yeah.
and then they'll pay the promoter to go out there, but they won't put that on social media. It's weird sometimes.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Like they should put money behind their actual event. And then, I mean, the $150 is not going to hurt you, bro.
Yeah, I think a lot of times I know like places struggle because they don't have a huge like social media like presence, you know. Like I've noticed that like a couple bars, I'm like, man, they need someone to be on this, you know, promoting it every week, you know, a few times a day on the.
They need Big Z.
Yeah,
Yeah, they definitely need Big Z. Yeah, I kind of agree with you where you have restaurants and bars and locations that are like, oh, why isn't the crowd coming for for food or whatever it may be? Well, you're now investing in yourself, and you should be investing in yourself. Like you said, if I'm gonna spend $150 on flyers, why am I not spending $150, $300 on social media? That's gonna push it out to a specific place that I want to.
Yeah, and 150 for a 7-day campaign is huge. No one's paying that much money for 7 days.
No,
That's a lot.
it is a lot, but at the same
And
time,
we should drop that money and pass all the flyers that weekend. That's what I'm saying. Like, you do the math, right?
yeah.
So whatever.
I always wonder like how many of those flyers ended up in the garbage anyways. Like, somebody gets in, you're like, fuck this shit.
But sometimes we have big events.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess it all depends.
But
Like,
to pay homage, to give you credit, when you were asking about the event about saturation, I still believe we were in like the Michael Jordan era of like we had goats. We were competing against real hard hitting DJs before Boy Genius was him, before DJ Metro, before like Nonstop came back into the scene. Mix and Mark was just breaking through. Caffeine just broke through. We were literally against like the biggest names, and somehow, some way, you know, we are where we are today, and you have the honor to be on radio next to somebody I actually admire, is DJ Markski, which is huge.
Yeah.
So talk about that. Like, how the hell do you get that?
you know,
And don't hold back.
I know Marsky since the Energy days because we were both resident DJs there. So like I've known him from back then. So he's heard of me before. So like he got the opportunity to start that radio show, and like actually DJ Reich is the one that hit me up because he asked him to look for DJs. So Reich was like, you know, he thought of me, and then like he hit me up, and like he's like, yeah, if you want to do it, you know, it's like it's a small station. It's like a Polish radio during the day, but on the weekend it's like a dance music show. So it's like I'm like, oh, whatever. Like it's not gonna be nothing that big, but it's something to do, you know, something to put your music out there, and like, you know, have.
It was knowing somebody that got you that platform again. So ladies and gentlemen, you have to talk to people.
And this is somebody from a long time ago.
This is just how it works, right?
You have to market yourself.
You just have to go out there and talk. Like, well, how do you do it? Like, everyone says the same answer is network.
Yes.
Literally. But that means your communication skills, and he's shy. You just admitted you're shy. But you still found
a way.
the confidence.
Yeah.
To go, you know, to make some friends.
I think too, like if you're a good DJ, you're gonna stand out regardless. Like people are gonna be like, they're gonna remember you and be like, oh shit, okay, I remember that dude.
But
like,
good DJ today is like what now? Like what's a good DJ? Because now they're doing like, see James Hype, he's a great DJ. He's legendary now. Like he's like the model right now.
I think what helped him was social media, like him, you know, his videos blowing up and getting that footage at a dope party or a dope festival, and the next thing you know, it's spreading like wildfire. So everyone, like even people who don't know what DJing like really is, and they're gonna see it and think it's cool, you know. So yeah, it doesn't hurt to get those videos out there.
Right. Should a DJ even like try to be on radio today? Like, you know,
it doesn't really matter.
When we grew up, we had Bad Boy Bill.
Yeah, it's different
Chico
back then.
Chris. Like we had this like the B96 was like the place to. It's almost like heaven for us, right?
That was like
I mean, it's for me. It was.
It was like almost the only place you would hear that type of music. So,
right, but we wanted to be on radio, and then La Calle came out. I wanted to be on La Calle. But now, is it even worth trying to get on radio when you have Mixcloud, SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitch, Kick?
Nah.
You have places you can just put yourself out there.
Also, is it what's the process of that, right?
Mhm.
Is it still the same process to
Yeah.
do you submit your work, and then how long, what's that process look like
Yeah.
when you submit your work till you get us, you know, you hear back saying, oh yeah, we'll use your mix on December 26th, you know,
Yeah.
we'll use it 6 months from now. You're like, what? You know,
Well, like if you're
Right.
on there every week, they're expecting mixes every week. So
Okay.
like, yeah. If you're a guest DJ, obviously there's like a timeline where okay, we got these guys already lined up, so you'll be the third in like 3 weeks from now or something.
Okay.
So somebody actively finds that person.
Yeah. Well, all of us like that are on the station, we usually reach out to like people and like, hey, you want to come do a guest mix or something? Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, and they never do it.
Oh.
But like, you know, it all depends.
He's losing out on
It
opportunity,
doesn't. I mean, because most likely it doesn't pay, right?
It's not. Yeah, it doesn't
No,
pay. No,
but you're getting your name out there in a radio.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've like over the years, like I've been on it for 2 years now, and like there's like people who like my page, and like I'm like, these are like a whole nother demographic that like you wouldn't reach if you weren't on there, you know. So yeah, this is definitely like a whole nother.
So all DJs should at least get a mix on a radio.
Yeah.
But what
I
about because you're a resident DJ? It's
Yeah.
not like he's not like a special guest DJ.
Right.
He's like a resident.
Yeah.
Right. So
Like he's up there.
yeah, and that's the thing is like if I'm an aspiring new DJ, it's like, well, I'm gonna go and submit my work, and guess what? I'm not getting paid for it, but if they play it, now my name is on the airwaves. Now that's like a credit. Same thing would be like if Brad Pitt said, "Hey, do you want to be in this movie? You're just gonna be in the background." Yeah, I definitely do.
That's how some people get their start, being a background
Actor, right?
Yeah.
That's how, you know, who hasn't been on Law and Order that became a big star, you know, and they were just, you know, small parts.
Yeah.
And again, you got to get your foot in the door, and you know, you can put that as a credit. I was on this radio station, I was on that radio station, and then it starts snowballing, and you got to put in the work, and it's just to your credit, like for doing it for such a long time. That means you are able to promote yourself, you're able to communicate what your needs are and what you want to do
For being shy.
which is very hard. It is very hard.
That's a good way to like, you know, put yourself out there because it's not gonna hurt. You know, if it's not gonna there's nothing, you know, like you could do your mixes and like somebody's gonna hear it eventually, you know. So like you're gonna build a little fan base here and there, and like you know, somebody who's never heard of you is gonna be like, they're gonna hear of you once and be like, oh shit, I'm gonna tune in next week and see what else he's got, or go to his SoundCloud or something, you know.
Right. But
Yeah.
so then what happens now that you're on radio, right? So then what's the next step? Like now that you're DJing at he did Cicero Fest, is a big festival, right?
Huge fest.
3,000?
Yeah, it depends. You know, like
And your radio. So
yeah.
now what? Now what? Tomorrowland?
no, I mean if that opportunity comes, then
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. I'm not gonna turn that down, but like, you know, it all depends. You know, I'm like you know, I just try to like let
what
things
is the
happen.
apex now?
Yeah, I just try to let things happen naturally. Like try not to like force myself.
So there's no like high heavy boom on
I just
top.
want to make more tracks, to be honest, and like get more known as a producer, because DJing
feels
is
good. It does
DJing is
feel
okay. Like I like it, I love it, but like I want to, you know, be able to travel more and like, you know,
Tell him.
yeah, because
I mean, I feel the same way too.
yeah, we've done some like some traveling early 2012ish. You know, back then we were doing a lot of like Be More and like you know, Chicago House, like
You did make some stuff like
yeah,
that, right?
yeah. So like during that time, we were.
And by the way, is Juke Chicago? Is Ghetto House Chicago?
Yeah.
Or who made Juke? Who made
yeah,
the Ghetto
of course,
House?
Chicago. It's all Chicago.
Who do you think?
I think from what I remember, DJ Puncho was the first one to like use the word juke in the track.
Ooh.
Yeah, you ask Gant Man, he'll know. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but like I don't know too much of the history, but I remember that was one of the first producers to use that term.
You know, my biggest thing was like when you hear some tracks now with like Ice Spice and like
Yeah,
I can't even remember that song. I can't remember it, but it has a juke beat over. Like there's juke music coming
Yeah.
out with Bad Bunny, Drake. Like there's like this juke beat in the background. How do you feel about that? Because they're not giving us credit on this one. Like they're just making it and then it's going viral. Which us as Chicago
yeah.
Ghetto House, we don't do that. They went bigger than Sluggo. They went bigger than some of these original cats with
Yeah.
the beats.
I mean, it's gonna happen eventually. Like everything is gonna get used, you know, by like a huge artist will eventually come through. Like like Beyonce, like you know, she was making house music, now she's doing country. So you know, you can't really like keep yourself into like one thing. And, you know, you gotta like expand and grow as an artist. So like I think it's cool. Like, if you want to like make a juke track or make a Jersey, Jersey club track or a techno track or something, like add that to your album and like, it'll stand out for real. Cause like there's some artists making stuff like that. Like I wouldn't listen to them, other than, if they never made that track,
Right.
Yeah. So
Who's that producer now, or that person that you really look up to? Because now you're in a very different bracket right now.
Yeah.
Which is pretty badass. So like, who do you look up to if you have anybody?
It all depends. I get influenced by a lot of people. It might even not even be a producer. It could be like a band or something. But I really like one guy. His name is Trunket. You ever heard of him? He's a techno producer from LA, and his sound is like super like Chicago, like DJ Hyperactive. Like he collabs with him a lot. So like late like 90s techno type of sound. Right. Like that's what he's like making. And man, it's like every track that I listen to, I'm just like, man, I wish I could sound like that,
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think him is like a big influence, and then like I can't really think of anyone off the like just there's a lot of guys that come and go, and like you vibe off their tracks and you're just like, damn. Yeah, but it all depends, because I listen to
Afro House. Yeah. Everyone's playing Afro House now. What about that?
Not me.
Why?
No, I mean, I have
your house. And by the way, his story is very interesting. He was living in a certain place. He came to Portugal. He made Ibiza in Portugal during COVID because he was like going through some shit, and it is documented. And then he went viral in Portugal, and they called it Latin house, but it's just Ibiza music. Yeah. And so he blew up.
Who are you speaking of?
Hugo.
Oh, okay.
Hugo.
Yeah. When I first heard of him, he was still making like tech house remixes. So,
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
he's not really like amazing at that past.
I
now
think
he's badass.
I think he just kind of like, jumped on that whole persona, and like.
So that's why you don't like it, or
no.
What's the problem with
like
it?
To me, like his stuff is Latin house, like his earlier stuff, but like you eventually like that genre got bigger, so he had to switch over and like make some stuff like that. So that's what it is, really.
So what do you think house music is going now? Like, where is it? Because we still have the 80s, 90s house DJs that are like so trapped in that era. Where is it going now?
There's like a house like subgenre for everything, man. So really, like whatever you like, you could find.
What's your subgenre? Oh, it's funny. Al Martinez, I'll do it like this.
Yeah.
He has a punchline. He's like, "What's your pronoun? Your EDM pronoun?"
Yeah, I mean, I like
there's so many.
Yeah, I'm still the same, like
what
ghetto house, hard house,
Yeah,
juke, techno, like that's always been like my go-to, like my style. So like that, pretty much that,
Yeah. So let's talk about all this so far. So we have DJ Rampage. You came up borrowing other people's equipment. You headlined. You did 4 turntables. You're a real big inspiration to Chicago. You're doing these big festivals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about work-life balance, because you're married.
Yeah, married.
Okay, you're married.
Mm-hmm.
And then children.
Yeah, I have one daughter, 7 years old.
7.
Yeah.
Right. And then how do you do DJ, nightlife, family, kids?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do all that?
It's not easy, but you definitely got to make time for everything, and
how do you find time? I ask because addiction doesn't just happen with drugs or drinking. It happens in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get into my studio and I go, I got to make a quick intro for the podcast we have. And all of a sudden I go upstairs and it's 3 hours past. Mm-hmm. The kids are knocked out. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't read their bedtime story. Yeah. And you go, and you didn't not purposely do it. It just flies because you're in flow state, right?
I think.
So how do you do that?
I work a lot better at night when everyone's asleep. So like, I usually like, it depends. Sometimes I'm home alone, so I try to get stuff done then. But like, usually like I'm not like if my family's there, like I'm not like putting the music first. Like try to like spend time.
Because you're also a resident DJ though. So how do you do that?
What do you mean? Like it's really you just gotta divide up the time, and like I do a lot of prep work for gigs and like try to get music set for stuff, and like if it's a specific type of gig, you want to be like ready for it. So I do like maybe 2 hours of prep work before the gig, and like maybe even during the week I try to find time, but like it all depends what your schedule is. Like some people are way busier than others, and like
so how busy are you? So like, because I know with the family and stuff, like we have to find a way to maintain a family, maintain a child. I'm not sure if you're going to daycare, private school, or whatever you have. So like, how do you balance? Because we are, responsible for their life, their legacy.
It definitely helps when you have a partner that is there and like willing to help out and like do take care of things and stuff like that.
How do you find a partner like that though? Because realistically, like okay, let's say all you want to do is DJ, right?
Yeah.
And you bring the books to the table at the end of the month, and you go, well, honey, you're kind of short on this one, and then the partner has to do something more, right?
Yeah.
So then most DJs do trucking, other DJs do like sound, or something in the environment of music, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Where do you find a balance of that?
I don't know. It just really depends, I try to make money other ways too. Like do like here small gigs like private parties too. So it's not just like clubs and bars all the time. So like that's always a good way to make some extra money. And then like just having like I have a part-time job as well. So I work like Monday through Wednesday, and I usually have Thursday off, and I DJ Friday, Saturday somewhere.
So the part-time goes to the family, yeah?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And then like it all depends how much like how many gigs you got too. Like like this week I only have Saturday booked. So like I really don't have much else going on.
Right.
Some like last week I had 4 gigs booked, So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
Yeah. So it all depends.
Is it hard to keep a consistent book? Because, there's a lot of industries that are feast or famine, right? We got the summer festival season. So that can be something where you can be, you can feast upon.
Yeah.
But then again, if you're from Chicago or been to Chicago and you go to a nightclub, it's jam packed. It'd be freezing and people are out. So how do you get that to your books to stay alive or healthy?
It's not always like busy, but like you do find work. Sometimes you'll hit up last minute for something, and like I ain't got nothing going on. I'll go do it, like so. It really depends, You just gotta like be open to things and like definitely say yes to like things that you wouldn't normally say yes to.
Have you had a situation where it was like a small gig or a last minute gig and you said yes to it, which led to a bigger opportunity?
That happens
Talk
a lot.
about it.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Like you'll say, let's say somebody hits you up, be like, hey, can you cover for me? And be like, yeah, sure. And then next thing you know, like they'll hit you up again the week after.
And then you meet DJ Markski, and then you're on the radio. Perfect. See? Perfect.
Full circle.
No, yeah. But,
Got it.
Yeah, definitely. Like always, if there's opportunity that comes up, and you're like, you're not sure of it, but like, hey, fuck it, do it. Like, what do you got to lose? You're gonna make a little bit of money, and more opportunities might come. So
right.
Yeah.
When do you quit?
What do you mean?
Like, so we had this conversation on the industry DJs. Shout out to them. When do you quit DJing? Because like Tiesto is like 53 or Ghetto's 54. I mean, and they're still DJing, right? So, but when do you actually quit, bro? Like when you go, you know what? I'm done with this.
It depends.
I have an answer, by the way, but I'm just curious to know what your answer is.
It depends, because like I've thought about quitting. Maybe like a few more years, and I don't want to DJ no more. Like I'll just stick to producing and behind the scenes stuff. So still gonna be involved with music. I'm not never gonna give that up. But
that is an answer.
Yeah,
I love that.
I don't plan to stay in DJing in the bars and clubs for that long.
Why, bro? Don't you like drinking tequilas and Modelos and seeing the girls go crazy?
No.
I think as you get older, obviously you become more mature. So you're not there for the party life. You're there for the work life.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in there, DJ. I'm going to do my set, and I'm going to get out. It's not that. When you're young, you're like, I want the atmosphere. I want to party. And when you're older, you're like, it's just a gig.
Yeah.
Let's move it on. That's how I feel like as DJs move on. As you get older, do you have more difficulty as far as like hand-eye coordination?
No, I think just my vision got worse, because just like staring at your screens all day. That shit gets blurry after a while, and then just dealing with health problems too. Like you just got to take care of yourself. But definitely. Like I don't miss a beat, at all. Like as far as like DJing, but
like when people play guitar, they can always play guitar.
Yeah. Definitely.
Kind of thing, right?
I feel like over the years, like I just gotten better.
Talk about that, because that was also here. I just forgot to mention it. So Sync, what is your relationship with Sync?
Sync, it's more like a last minute thing for me. Like I'll use it if I'm in a bad situation where like something's not loading right or something's not like. Sometimes you're on a controller where the pitch is messed up, so you gotta use sync, or you're on some sort of decks where something's messed up. So like I'll use it for that. But as far as like just using it just to use it, like I'm not that lazy, you know. Like I'll
Because
do.
the other argument was you can still see the BPM on the actual thing. Like
Yeah.
if it says 127.0,
Yeah.
you can just
If
move
you're
it
using
down.
like Serato, you could see all
Right.
the BPM, so you don't even need sync. You know,
Right.
you could just match it up yourself and put it.
I
at
just
the
find
right
it easier to go boom. Just one button matches it.
It depends how fast you're mixing and what you're trying to accomplish. You know, like you could there could be like a vocal that's like so like far the tempo out of the tempo range you need sync. You know, or else you're gonna be messing with the pitch all crazy.
right.
So yeah, it all depends what you're using it for, really. You know, if you're just using it just to DJ a local bar and you feel like mixing, to me that's a little lazy. You know, like at least put some work into it. You know, but like if you're in a bad situation, like you got 2 seconds to load a song and you don't have time to fucking pitch it up and use sync. You know, like it's there for you to use. You know, it's a tool.
Right.
You know, so as far as like that, but like I don't really see anything bad about it. You know.
Okay, that's great. And
We have a quick question from the audience. It said, for the youngins out there that want to get into it, obviously DJing, people think they can immediately get big. That's not the case, obviously. What parts of their life can they expect to sacrifice to be successful? Great question, Sean.
Everything, really. You're gonna sacrifice late nights. You're gonna miss, family gatherings and stuff like that. So, there's been a lot of times where you're like, oh, I wanted to go do this, and go to my, grandpa's thing or my grandma's thing or whatever, but you're booked. What are you gonna do? You could go for a couple hours, show face, and then go to your gig, and just like that. But like, really, it's just. Sorry, I lost my train of thought again.
it's just because for him, it's like, so the question is, what do you have to sacrifice to get to his level?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, a lot of late nights.
This man
staying
has
up late.
sacrificed everything.
Well,
Bro.
because to be successful, it does take sacrifice, whatever
Yeah.
you're doing. Right? If you want to be a basketball player, well, you're going to have to shoot 1,000 shots a night, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing with DJing. It's repetition. It's getting used to the different materials, going from records to CDs to now to just digital tracks, and now how to manage your digital tracks and how to manage a different program. Like when you guys are talking about Serato and this and that, I know small things here and there just because I'm around you guys.
Yeah.
So I recognize, but then you started talking about all the other programs I've never heard of, right? But you guys are deep in the ocean. I'm here in the kiddie pool. Like I don't know what's going on. So like to have someone, ask about what's a sacrifice.
Everything. So like, so the
How successful do you want to be? That's the
Yeah.
question.
everything. It's everything, bro. Like,
Hey.
like even right now, like one of these questions was like, how do you even justify the fact that you have to go out at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning?
It's not easy because
Right.
like
For a 15 or 20 minute set.
Because police officers,
I don't play
right?
15 minutes anywhere. But
Right.
No, but when you're starting,
Yeah.
you're getting 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Or 30 minutes.
Okay.
You know what like really bothers me too? Sometimes like driving home late at night. and,
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
Yeah, you're out, late. People, there's drunk drivers everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. How do you like that really is it. Like you got to be out there. Guys are drunk at 9 o'clock already. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's already a very dangerous situation. So you have to sacrifice your life, to be honest,
And,
for,
like, after a
for
certain
your name to be up
Yeah, after a certain hour in the city, it's like lawless sometimes, man. And it
Oh, yeah.
feels like you're driving through the streets and you're like, holy fuck! Like there's a car on fire. There's people chasing each other. There's drunk drivers.
Even if it's a green light, you pause.
yeah.
You look both ways.
Even
Yep.
like during the day, there's people driving like maniacs. So
Yeah.
it's like, like in even where I live, there's like a lot of people drive really fast, and it's like I've gotten hit by a car. Like my car went like
Wow.
got totaled, and like right down the street from where I live.
Yeah, it usually accidents happen within 4 to 5 block radius of where you live, right?
That's so crazy.
It is.
But like I've still noticed to this day, like people drive like idiots. Like it depends. But at night, like late after a gig,
even after leaving here, bro. You be like, when I left here at 9 o'clock, this guy was like right by my car, almost hit me, right? So like so realistically, you sacrifice everything. And what I'm saying, even now, I have 4 kids, a wife. When I'm producing, bro, when they booked me for DJ Funk's event, I created a whole bunch of music. I sacrificed everything, bro. Literally, where my wife was like, it's a little bit too much, but it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
We legitimately had to like seclude yourself to do whatever it is you have to take, whether it's learning Ableton, a new software. It's just a lot of investing. But at the end of the day, you feel good about what you did. You don't feel like you made a mistake.
yeah. A lot of DJing too is just preparation, man. Like you're DJing for like what 3 or 4 hours, and like how many hours are you putting into that beforehand, though? You know, like there's a lot of stuff you got to do to get ready for a set, you know, and definitely having like a good library that's like prepped and like easy to manage, like that's gonna help you big time. Like, and that takes a lot of time.
Real quick before we end the show, if you had to go back in time and do it all over, what would you do different to expedite your process?
Oh wow. Yeesh. I don't know. Maybe just
Would it be producing earlier?
yeah, I think producing like sooner, because I think when I first started, like producing your own music was like the thing to do, because like everyone was releasing vinyl and stuff like that. So if I would have started a little bit sooner, I would have had like more vinyl stuff like out, and like it would have been, you know, easier to get signed that way too, because there was tons of labels out there still putting that stuff out. So like yeah, definitely getting into that sooner, and then like just learning like you know, different production techniques and like stuff like that too. Like I wish I learned a lot of that stuff sooner, and like, you know, it all takes time really, but you know, definitely you just gotta grow, and like, you know, like definitely try to like put yourself into that, and like, you know, try to you know, just damn, I can't really think what I was gonna say. Yeah.
It's because it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is loud.
Finally, if this was to be like, let's say this is the last set you had, the last gig, right? And you had this is all right. From here on out, I officially retire. What would be that song, that last song that you would close your entire career with?
Ooh, good
All
question.
the songs.
Good question.
I know it's a lot of songs, man,
Yeah. It all depends, man. There's so many songs. I would probably play something that I made, maybe, but
but there you go.
yeah. But like it depends, you know. It depends where you're at and what the vibe is.
No,
and
just
stuff
you, like in general.
Yeah.
Like let's just say this was it,
Yeah,
the last gig, and you're gonna play your last song.
probably Fire. The track I made called Fire, because that one, like, it's like always gets requested. So
Available
yeah,
on iTunes, Apple, and
yeah, definitely something I made, probably, you know, and there's plenty of other songs that I like that I might end the set with, you know, because I do like, I'm like one of those DJs that ends the set with like something slower or something that, you know, different, or something that you wouldn't expect. So yeah.
and last thing, I keep saying that, but this for sure is, if you can like tell your legacy, your daughter, any advice you want, just in life in general, what would it be for them to like see, like I want to be, you're my role model, do this, like, and then they follow your advice, what would you give them?
Really just, you know, try not to take criticism too hard, and just, you know, be yourself, really stay true to yourself, you know, and try not to like be too much like other people, and like, you know, everyone has their own personality and likes and stuff that, you know, they want to do. So yeah, I would say just, you know, try not to let anything hold you back, really, you know, and don't listen to the haters and nothing like that. So yeah, for sure, like just that, and, you know, stay true to yourself, and try to be authentic as possible, really, you know, and be a good person. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
We're good. We're good. I think we have to do another episode later on down the road, because we had so many questions.
Yeah.
And then we also had, you know, production issues that you know, will be fixed on the post production. We'll fix that. But definitely would like to have you back on Rampage.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
and get some more insight, because your life story is going to take a lot more than one episode to talk
yeah.
about, and then the knowledge that you had.
Yeah. We
acquired.
could be here all day, man.
we
I
could
mean, we are, but you know,
no, we could be all day. But I want to thank everybody, especially Rampage, for coming in. We're going to thank Fuego from Logan Square for hosting us here in Chicago. Check out Fuego Logan Square, where they have happy hour Monday through Friday, 4 to 7 p.m. They got chicken flautas, nachos, guacamole, 6 wings from buffalo barbecue, mango habanero, and delicious drinks, palomas, pepino locos, margaritas, and Jack and Cokes, all for $8 on happy hour. So thank you to Fuego for hosting us. We'll be back next week again with a different guest.
DJ Flash.
Oh, I was going to say, you're going to have to wait for it, but I guess, spoiler alert, DJ Flash next week.
He sold me on that one.
See, walked right into that. Big thank you to Dat Slush for sponsoring today's episode, 606 Media for the production, and everybody that's been watching and listening. So we'll be back next week, same time, same place. And until then, Be good to ech other. For the love of DJing.